Let's paint this plate of cookies and peppermint sticks in watercolor. I have already masked out all of the sprinkles on the cookies, the white parts of the towel, and the letters. I have already put on one layer of red on the towel and on the plate, and right now I am using some red to work around a highlight that is on the plate. I'm using Arches hot pressed paper in size 8x8. You can use cold pressed or any other watercolor paper that you have. 100% cotton is recommended. I have now added a couple more layers of red on the towel and on the plate. I still have all the masking fluid in place, and I am working on the bottom cookie. I have added in some cool browns, some yellows, and I'm working on shadows and textures. I've wet this little section of the cookie, and on the wet paper I have dropped in some neutral shadow color. That one was on dry paper, and then I used a damp brush to soften the edge. And then I make sure I am not getting any hard lines in the cookie by using a damp brush and scooching it around to blend. Here I'm using a pencil to add in some small lines to show the edges of the cookies so that they don't look completely flat. I'm using a plastic eraser, it's a kneaded eraser, to lift off a little bit of the pencil line. And then I'm using a darker color to fill in the edge, and then later I will lift out the middle of that section with a scrubber brush. On each section of this bottom cookie, I am following the same procedure when adding shadows. I'm wetting the section and then dropping in the color where I want it to be, and then blending with the damp brush. This section of the cookie has the most light on it, so I'm not doing a lot of shadows here. And here I'm dabbing on some texture with a warm brown. The warm brown is one that I mixed with my Quinacridone Rose and my nickel Azo Yellow. And then I added a touch of blue. I'm using the eradicator brush here to show the edges of the cookies from the plate up to the top of the cookie. So I guess it would be the depth. The cookie is dry, and now I'm working on the top cookie. All of the sprinkles have been masked. I'm wetting the cookie and then adding in a warm color. This is a brown that I made with yellow and Quinacridone Rose. A very pale value. I've wet it with that color, and now I'm dropping in a darker value of that warm color. The tips of the cookies are a little more toasted than the rest of the cookies, so I'll be adding in some brighter color to show that. Now I'm going to go ahead and wet another section of the cookie, and I'm stopping the water in the midst of the sprinkles so that if I do get a hard line, it won't be that noticeable. Dropping in that warm brown color. And then here I want to emphasize the edge of the cookie. the depth of it by adding in a cooler brown, blending it, and then to show the rounded off part of it, I'm adding a little bit darker value on the edge. And then following the same procedure for the rest of the cookie. Clear water. Some darker value to show the edge or the depth of the cookie. Adding more color so that it looks toasty. Clear water. I'm adding a little bit of shadow color to the sprinkles, so that it will diffuse all around them. And then when I take the masking, each sprinkle will have a little bit of an outline. Here I'm adding wet into wet, some warm brown. And then a little bit more shadow color under the peppermint stick. I wet that section again with some clear water and adding some more of the cool brown to show the depth. More clear water and some more texture. And to add the texture, I'm just dabbing on a light value. And now blending everything together. And there you can see that I have shown the edge of the cookie just by adding some different values. On the peppermint sticks, I already did one layer of the red in a cool color. And here I am doing a second layer on the red stripes by adding in a warm red to the middle of each stripe. And then on the edges of the stripes, adding a cool red. If you look closely at the reference photo, which will be in the community post that I will have up, you can see that the red on the stripes is different in different light. It isn't all one color of red. To show that, we just use subtle changes in the value and in the temperature. There's some cool red going in, and I'm just letting it touch the wet, warm red that I have already put on. Now for some shadows on the plate. Some of them are cast shadows. Some of them are diffuse shadows just from the lighting that is around the room. And some are reflections. It's hard to tell which is which, and it doesn't really matter if you just look at the reference photo and really study the subtle changes in lighting and the subtle changes in color, you'll be able to get some of your shadows on and make this look like a plate of cookies, not a flat picture of cookies. Here's a cast shadow. Another cast shadow. Here I'm wetting so that I can put on a diffused shadow. And each shadow has a varying degree of value. The shadow is very dark, closest up to the object, and then becomes lighter as it becomes farther away from the object. And here I am just putting in the beginning of a highlight that I will be putting to the right of that line. Another cast shadow. Here's another one with the peppermint sticks. If you are enjoying this video or any of my other videos, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Okay, I've taken the masking fluid off, and you can see that the sprinkles have a little bit of shadowing in them and they look like they are round. And here I am adding some shadow to the left side of the letters to show that they are a little bit raised up off the plate. I hope this video was of use to you and you learned a little something. There's a much longer version available on my Patreon channel. Link in the description. Here I am just diffusing some of the red pigment from the stripes onto the whites of the candy cane. And you're done. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.